From our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Peter Murphy begins now.
In developing news right now, emergency services are at the scene of a serious single vehicle crash, in the northeast town of Tongana. The Tasman highway between Scottsdale and Rigarooma is closed, with police and SES conducting traffic diversions. Officers say that stretch of road is expected to be shut for a number of hours. Former state Liberal MPs John Tucker and Lara Alexander have reaffirmed their support to re-establish a Tasmanian branch of the National Party. It's the second attempt since October to register with the Electoral Commission, but experts say they face an uphill battle.
The Tasmanian Nationals have languished in the political wilderness for decades, but a resurgence is on the horizon for the next state election.
The National Party being a rural party, I think it's time that they tried down here.
Their attempt to register as a party in October, falling short by just one member. This time they're confident they've got the numbers.
We had to put 110 forward for the Electoral Commission to check, but since then we've actually had more people sign up. We're heading towards the 150 mark now.
Ads in the state's major newspapers showing their updated membership list, hoping to seize on dissatisfaction with the Liberals, who have been in power for a decade, and an expanded lower house.
I think it has to, and we have to get our votes from somewhere, but we also would get some from the Labor Party too.
But some political experts say the Nationals could struggle to break ground, with Tasmania lacking distant rural seats.
As a result, you don't have that so much of that distinct rural identity. You have a little bit of it in Lyons and Braddon and Bass, but it's only parts of the electorate, it's not all of it.
Labor Minister Julie Collins thinks there isn't an appetite for the Nationals brand in the state.
I don't think it'll have a very big impact here in Tasmania.
Meanwhile, Liberal Senator Jonathan Duniam says any new party will need to tailor their policies to how issues are affecting Tasmanians.
Particularly when we're in the middle of a cost of living crisis and our economy is slowing, they want parties to answer the problems that they have.
The aim is to make good, sensible policies which we can take to the next election and to grow our organisation.
Anthony Dodd, 7 Tasmania News.
The state government is urging the federal government to stump up its share for the proposed Cradle Mountain cable car after years of delays. But federal member for Franklin, Julie Collins, says they've already committed investment for further planning in its progression.
We have funded the planning money to get the proper planning done for this project. So let's see what the result of that funding is, and then we can go forward.
The cable car would connect the Cradle Mountain Visitor Centre to Dove Lake as part of a master plan for the area drawn up back in 2016. Let's head out to Bellerive, where Nick Kelly has signed himself up for an afternoon of cricket at Ninja Stadium. Nick, I hope the Canes are going better than Thursday night. How are they faring at the moment?
Oh, I've got some very good news for you, Murph. It is so far so good. The Canes have just gone in for their crack at batting not too long ago, and Mitch Owen is having an absolute slogfest out there. They are chasing a pretty lofty target, though, of 166 runs set by the Scorchers during their time at the crease. One notable absence out there on the field is wicketkeeper Matthew Wade. He hasn't been seen today. He wasn't named on the list this afternoon after limping off the field during Thursday's loss. Now, Murph, there's still plenty of cricket to be played here. As I look up on the big screen, if my math serves me correctly, which it doesn't always, we need 108 runs off about 70 balls. So I will let you know how they go a little bit later, and of course we'll have the rest of today's sports news.
Well, I know you like cheering, Nick, so keep your voice in train for your sports a little bit later on. After a multi-year hiatus, Launceston's Carols by Candlelight is just a day from returning to the City Park, but it hasn't been without its challenges. 3 weeks ago, the original event was cancelled, leaving the new organisers with a race against time to be ready for the opening act.
The lights are being installed, the stage is being set. The carols that almost weren't are almost here.
An event like Carols is so iconic, and to have it back in the park, it's just a celebration of Launceston.
After an independent organising committee made the 11th hour decision to pull the pin, the council and its army of volunteers swooped in.
It's a really big operation, and, you know, hats off to any volunteer organising group trying to run an event of this scale.
Taking over just 3 weeks out, the event, which normally takes 9 months to plan, down to the final hours.
Considering 3 weeks ago we didn't think we were going to have a Carols, and to have it back in the park, it's incredibly exciting.
The park might appear calm now, but that's all about to change. Tomorrow, performers will take to the stage for their final rehearsals before thousands are expected to flock through the gates from 4 p.m.
There'll be a pre-show from 5 till 6 and then the carols will kick off at 6. And there will be an appearance from Santa and it will be very special.
Victoria Easto, 7 Tasmanian News.
Daredevils from across the globe have taken to try Bunner's chilly waters today with the first ever Tasmanian Cliff Masters event. 10 of the best freestyle divers putting on a show to the awe of nearby crowds.
The first of its kind in Tassie, making a splash off the east coast.
It was so cool. I don't know how they can do it.
10 of the best showing off their tricks, launching off from 25 metres high, a skill which takes years to perfect.
We're hitting the water about 70 to 80 kilometres an hour, so the impact's hard, and yeah, the height is really up there.
It definitely depends, but I'd say the median is between 4 and 5 years to get to a pro level.
Similar events are held across the globe, the extreme sport proving particularly popular in Europe. But these revellers were stoked to see it finally hit home waters.
Incredible, isn't it? Yeah. Really, it's a bit windy, but that's it, because the vibes are high.
There's been 5 events in the past 5 years, with each one getting more and more traction as the sport becomes more popular.
Social media's really taken the sport upwards. It's pretty cool to see the Aussie crew starting to put ourselves on the map a little bit.
But it's certainly not for the faint-hearted, many today choosing to keep their feet firmly on solid ground.
Would you get out there yourself?
Yep.
Yeah, you going to?
No.
Way too windy. Way too high for me.
Ruby Cairns, 7 Tasmanian News.
Welcome back to Ninja Stadium, where the Canes are right now hunting for redemption for their opening round loss. The Hurricanes are chasing 50 runs right now off 42 balls after the Scorchers put up a target of 155. Mitch Owen making half a century a short time ago. Early wickets fell for Perth. Finn Allen gone within the first over, and Cooper Connolly before the start of the third, both bowled out by Riley Meredith. Keaton Jennings was next thanks to a car, Salam Keel, but it was a partnership of Josh Inglis and Ashton Turner that brought the bulk of the runs for the Scorchers. Longford trainer Angela Breakey has her eyes on next month's Devonport Cup after winning a second straight lead-in race with General Assembly in the $50,000 Kevin Sharkey Sheffield Cup. A fortnight since claiming the Golden Mile, the 5-year-old gelding staved off the competition after holding the lead for most of the race, finishing almost a length clear of a second-third double from local trainer Glenn Stevenson, who won his first Devonport Cup earlier this year with Ashy Boy. And that's all from me here so far, Murph. It's going to be an absolute sprint finish. They're needing 36 runs off the last 28 balls, so we will, of course, bring you that result tomorrow night.
Good on you, Nick. I think they're home. Thanks for that, Nick. Kaya Wicks will join us after the break. She has the weather forecast for us.
Good evening. 20 in Hobart today, much warmer in Launceston with the state's high of 27 and 23 recorded at Devonport and Burnie. 25 the top at Friendly Beaches, 23 at Ouse, Lowhead 22, Flinders Island, Smithton, Grove and St Helens all 21, 19 on Maria Island, King Island and Strawn 18 and 16 at Lyowini. We saw areas of scattered cloud, mostly about western, southern and northeastern parts of the state today. More scattered cloud lies over Tasmania and eastern New South Wales as clear skies are experienced over the majority of southern and western Australia. Tomorrow afternoon, a cold front will approach Tasmania from the west. West to southwesterly winds 10 to 20 knots, northwesterly winds reaching upward of 30 knots about the far northwest and southeast in the evening. West to southwesterly swells at 2.5 metres. We have a strong wind warning for coastal waters between Wineglass Bay to Southeast Cape and for the far northwest coast. Developing showers in the south tomorrow, Hobart 20 degrees, 21 the maximum at Richmond and also at Ouse. Much the same in the north, a couple of showers in Launceston 21, 19 at Devonport and 18 the top at Deloraine. Possible showers in Burnie 18, 18 at Strawn and Curry also with developing showers. And more showers for the east at Helens 18, Swansea 20 and 21 expected at Whitemark. Showers on Monday, more frequent about the west and south, easing and contracting to the west and far south throughout the evening. Showers towards the west on Christmas Eve, but fine elsewhere. And on Wednesday, light showers continue about the west. They'll clear in the evening, but it will be otherwise fine for Christmas Day celebrations. Looking now at capital cities across the country. A cloudy day in Sydney, 27, a soggy one in Melbourne, 22, 25 and partly cloudy in Adelaide, absolute scorcher in Perth tomorrow with 41 degrees. Right now in Hobart, 17 degrees and cloudy also in Launceston with 24 and much the same in Devonport with 21. It is, of course, How to Make Gravy Day this Saturday, the 21st of December. Now, Murph, I'm still waiting for an invite for a Sunday night roast, so I'm hoping you know how to make gravy.
Well, Cara, off the top of my head, I think it's all about the pan juices. Once you've had beef, lamb or pork, you've got to get those tasty bits off the bottom of the pan, add some butter, salt and pepper, some red wine to deglaze the pan. You also then need to add a little bit of flour or stock if you need to make a larger amount. But of course, the big tip is don't use all the wine on deglazing. There's a better use for that. Thanks for all your viewing tonight. We'll be back later with updates. Thanks for joining us. Good night.